Palia is a cozy life sim MMO, and while this is not normally the style of game that I would go for, my wife has been playing a lot of Dreamlight Valley, and I can see a lot of parallels between the style of gameplay and why people would be drawn to it. You find yourself suddenly teleported into the world and are welcomed with open arms by the inhabitants. As you converse, there are options for dialogue giving you a chance to be a particular personality in those conversations. Water type, which is thoughtful, introspective and emotional. The air type, which is laid back and free-spirited. The fire type, which is friendly, brave and excitable. And finally, the earth type, which is stubborn, practical and honest. Within the village that you find yourself, you can gain renown by completing tasks for people and improving your skills. You fairly quickly assemble the tools that you need, like the pick and the axe, the hoe and the watering can, fishing rod and bows. These tools over time can be upgraded by increasing those skills in those fields and by making friends with the locals and their stores. After completing a short series of introductory quests, you will gain a plot of land with which you are able to truly customize this area to suit your own aesthetic. Now that I had a plot of land, I pretty much ignored the quest as much as I could and went around collecting resources and increasing my skills so that I could outfit my newly acquired area. For the cooking, it started out simple with a small fire where you could either roast some mushrooms or some meat and gain a new resource named focus. At the start, a cooked mushroom would give you 50 focus and each activity would get a boost to experience whenever you use that skill. Each time that skill was then used, it would subtract 1 from the pool of focus that you had. And obviously better foods will provide more focus. After I upgraded the skill a little bit, this then gained me the stone and the preparation bench, which is the 2-stage cooking mini-game. You would start a recipe on the stove, and you would then need to prepare some of the ingredients. In this case, I was chopping some mushrooms as a part of a mini-game, and then I added it to the main item on the stove, where it was stirred together to create a better food. For hunting, you simply take out your bow and arrows and go and hunt the various creatures around the village. The chapper, which looks a little bit like a beaver, and the sernok, which is kind of like a deer or a gazelle. The fishing can be done anywhere, with or without bait, and there are special fishing spots around the place, as well as events that you can do with other people. The fishing itself is done via a little mini game where after you've actually hooked the fish, you'll get a couple of icons on the screen where you need to keep the fish within those boundaries as you reel them in until it reaches the player, at which point you've caught the fish. The foraging skill is simply collecting various resources from the ground, such as mushrooms and the various flowers, as well as chopping down trees and picking up the logs afterwards. Similarly, the mining is using your pick against the various rocks that you can find to collect stone, flint, and some of the metals such as copper, iron, and silver. After learning how to craft smoke bombs, you can go around and stun the vast variety of insects that you can find around the village, capturing them. These insects can then be placed in terrariums and put on display within your plot of land. There are also special versions of each one to be found and collected. To decorate your new plot of land, you are given the furniture making skill, where as you make each new item once, you are given the option to learn from 3 hidden items. After choosing one of these, it's added to your repertoire of furniture that you can make and add to your abode. The last skill of gardening lets you place down plots of soil and plant seeds. You will need to tend to them once per day, watering and weeding for a set number of days depending on the crop that you have grown. Each of the types of plants offers a different benefit, like keeping the plant next to it watered, reducing weeds, increasing yield, or simply improving the quality of produce. While I won't go into it too much for this impressions video, each of the individual NPCs within the village has its own friendship level with the player that you can influence through conversations and gifts. You'll need to learn what each of those villagers likes to be able to really open up what they all have to offer. As to my overall impressions of the game, albeit it is in closed beta, I do find it quite favourable. It's outside the usual survival games that I play, which contain conflict, adversity, and overcoming obstacles to reach an end goal. But I do find that the chill experience of Palia to be quite endearing, and there is plenty to do, especially for the perfectionist or the completionist who really wants to see and do everything. I've only really touched on a very single part of a greater whole of the game, as there are more regions to explore and a story to follow and engage with. Given that the model is free to play and that they are monetizing the game through cosmetic items, it is going to be a really easy option to give it a go and see it for yourself. I've linked a referral code down in the description of the video if you would like to go and see it for yourself. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Maybe you've been playing Palia already yourself and have an invite to the closed beta. Anyway, thanks once again everyone for listening in, and I'll catch you in the next one.